Welcome to Lunatic Astrology. I want to talk about Mercury and the heart of the sun. Yeah, he does this a few times a year, and he dies and he's reborn and he dies and he's reborn. So he goes into the heart of the sun and he comes up with a new story. And it's going to happen for each of us, Mercury, Cazimi, in a different part of our chart. And it's going to tell a different story for each sign, sun, moon, and rising. So what can we expect, first of all, on October the 9th, when Mercury goes into the heart of the sun, just after Mars was reborn in the heart of the sun as well, in the same part of the Libran sky? Well, one thing we can say is that Mercury's probably going to tattletale. You probably overheard what was going on with the warrior Mars in the heart of the sun, and we expect some news in the news cycle in the few days after the 9th of October as Mercury gets away from that sun and has something to say to the world. So news about justice, about fairness, about laws, about legislation, about legalities, a lot going on in the world, but the United States has to figure out how to get the debt ceiling fixed in the legal legislation story of the Senate right now, and that's been a problem. We could see some news develop there, or a story about legal things now, and even, the story of Gabby Petito, in which there's a chase to find the fiance. That's a law story, right? Justice and law, and there's a manhunt. So possibly because Mars is the warrior and the aggressor, and the one who could have murdered somebody. Well, I think we may see something go on probably within like 8 days of October 9th, with some big news story about the discovery of the guy who she was with, her fiance. What's his name again? Brian Laundrie. But in our own lives, Mercury gives us a chance to start over again and reset some area of our life on a regular basis. The guy moves pretty quickly through the sky. So I'm going to go into the all signs, and I'm going to tell you a bit about that. And I'm going to keep it short and sweet. This is just like a touch point on how your rising sign, your sun and your moon sign may be impacted. Your rising sign should be the most accurate, and what kind of story this may tell you. And as Mercury does go into the heart of the sun, he's doing this while he's retrograding in the sign of Libra. It means he's very close to Earth. So his impact is stronger than he is when he's further away. It also means that you may have something about this particular reset that might have to wait until he goes into direct motion on October the 18th. So similarly with the Brian Laundrie story, it may take until Mercury goes direct around October 18th, after he's in the heart of the sun on the 9th, for the big news to break about did find the guy or not, or good news, law enforcement news coming there. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to all signs, and so please listen for your rising sign first, and then your sun and moon secondly. Sun if you're born at day, moon if you're born in the night. Okay, so today I'm starting with Pisces because I'm tired of starting with other people. The last to go, it seems, or so Pisces, you get to be the big first to go this time. And I also am losing the light today, and I don't have any lighting. So if it becomes dark by the time I finish recording, I haven't got my lighting kit unpacked from a recent relocation. So I'm just going at the end of the day light here. So at my desk, so aware that by the time I'm done here, I might be in the dark. Okay, start off then. Let's go for a very short touch point for each of the signs. We're going to start with the Pisces rising, sun and moon folk. The rebirth is in your 8th house of money that doesn't belong to you, bank loans and spousal money, and money you get from your investments, and maybe a tax rebate, an inheritance. I'm definitely going to say that for some of you Pisces, this could be an inheritance coming in. And with Mercury and the sun Cazimi or whatever coming together at 16 degrees of Libra in your 8th house, if you have any planets in that 8th house near 16 degrees, maybe 3 on either side, this is a particularly intense one for you. The 8th house is also secrets, and of course Mercury can definitely spill them. So things that were hidden from your knowledge or secrets that were kept from you could become you could become aware of them. They could be revealed to you after October the 18th. But more or less, there's a kind of a generation, regeneration energy, a new start that Mercury is trying to incite regarding money for you. So pay attention to new developments for your finances after the 18th of October, especially when Mercury is going to be going direct from his retrograde motion. And his direct motion can give you propulsion or action or news about your money situation, and that would likely be good news that you can take action on and use for your benefit. So I think that I would say you guys are having a money story that Mercury is in charge of on October 9th as he goes into he is retrograde into the sun, and waiting for his October the 18th direct motion for you to get the real juice out of it, to squeeze the lemon and get the real sweetness and make it into lemonade. And the other thing about that is, I say lemon because sometimes eighth house things are difficult. Like no one wants to have someone die, so they get an inheritance, right? No one wants to have a divorce settlement so they get alimony from their spouse because it's a spousal money. But I do feel like something like along those lines is being investigated and worked through for you. And lastly, it's around 10 degrees of Libra where he stations to go direct. So if you have planets around 10 Libra, that's also going to be in your eighth house, quite significant in terms of this turnaround. So I'm going to move to the next sign. Sorry, guys, I have to put my chart on hours. So I'm looking at the chart as I'm reading it to you, so I can remind myself what I'm doing. Alrighty, so Mercury will be going into the heart of the sun, doing a reset for all of you Aries folk in your relationship house of primary business partnership, committed love relationships, and sometimes your clients, your audience, the marketplace that you reach out to. This is definitely not a bad thing for you guys to have this reset here across the way in the opposite sign. And if you're a single Aries, news about a partner that you've been in touch with before or an old lover, because it's retrograde Mercury, could be bubbling up. And around October 18th, some former partner, lover relationship could re-blossom on you and come back to life. And you might also find when Mercury goes direct on the October 18th that momentum in your business, if you reach out to others, like, with YouTube videos or stuff, audiences, that you're going to have some real pitch forward and your ability to communicate in that area of reality. Now, I also would say that you could find that if you're in business with somebody, that things that have been delayed or going backwards in terms of partnering with someone will finally get momentum on the 10th. But this rebirth energy, this heart of the sun, is also a time where there's good new directionality that Mercury is trying to give you for marketing, merchandising, and messaging in the house of client, audience, other, and primary love relationship. And if you're in a relationship, Aries, this can be going into the relationship backwards a bit, retrograding, to deepen your connection to your primary partner, to go back over old ground that needs to be covered again, because maybe there's stuff that you didn't deal with that you need to deal with together. And then on the 18th, as he goes forward around 10 degrees of Libra, you're going to find some serious momentum. If your descendant is near 10 degrees of Libra, for you Aries rising people especially, then you're going to find that this has a serious jumpstart of momentum when it comes to significant relationships, especially loved ones. For instance, Mercury is a messenger. Maybe your beloved will propose to you on or around the 18th of October at 10, when Mercury turns around and goes into direct motion. How about a Halloween proposal? So keep that in mind. We're rebirthing something new in the relationship part of the chart. I'm an Aries sun, moon, and Mercury. So hopefully this will get me some juice going in my relationship section of my chart. All right, so Taurus, sun, moon, and rising sign. This is going to be for you guys a regeneration or new beginning as Mercury goes into the heart of the sun around health and around health protocols and work protocols. Now, this is the workplace that you're in, like with your employees or or your colleagues or coworkers. And Mercury is dying in the heart of the sun, getting some advice from the sun and going to be reborn again. And he's going to do this with the goodwill of, the sun, the king, giving him a message, giving him some news, of what he needs to do in order for you to benefit. So Mercury in the heart of the sun could give you some upper hand with an authority figure in your workplace, a boss, a manager, where you're going to get some kind of powwow secretly, maybe some kind of developments there. And then maybe on October 18th, some of you will have breakthroughs around situations in your work, new communications about new directions that become available to you after October the 18th. And certainly for your health protocols as well. If you have had any health challenges, that you needed to resolve and they've been stuck, then this could be Mercury giving you the news, the information, the knowledge, something, a message, even like getting a great blood test back and realizing, hallelujah, my health is fine after the 18th of October. Gemini, sun, moon, and rising sign. Mercury is getting born again. Praise Jesus. He's dying in the heart of the sun, going into the heart of the sun. And I hope I didn't offend anyone religiously. And he's going into the heart of the sun. And what will happen is for you guys, this is in your 5th house of romance and children and inspiration and fun and sexuality and play and pleasure. You might be looking at, as he comes into visibility after he's reborn around the 18th of October, some message from somebody that, like, you know, wants to be your lover, that you want to be romantically involved with. You might find that somebody gets back to you on Bumble or Tinder and you're so excited. You might find that one of your children who's been out of touch is trying to reach out to you sometime after this cazimi, particularly maybe during the turnaround into direct motion after the 18th. If you want to be inspired by the muse, and Mercury is the god of writing, then maybe you'll be inspired, especially in the sign of Libra, some of you Geminis, to pen something, a poem, a story, an idea, and be excited by some new spark of Mercury-inspired muse direction after the 18th of October. Now, lastly, this is a house of speculative gains from things like lottery tickets and horse races and casinos. It wouldn't hurt to play one of those things as Mercury goes direct, especially around October 18th, the same day Jupiter, the god of luck, does in your 9th house. So just possibly there's a little window of lucky opportunity for you financially there too. Told you it's going to be short. Cancer, sun, moon, and rising, you're having this Mercury in the heart of the sun cazimi event happening in the 16th or so degree of Libra in your 4th house of real estate, home and land you live on, ancestral line, mother, family of origin, etc. Certainly this can be a good news because Mercury's marketing and merchandising and commerce, about buying or selling real estate around the 9th of October in the heart of the sun could be backroom deals or investigating something because he's still retrograde, going back over old plans about buying and selling real estate or changes to your home. And then around the 18th of October, there's momentum. And now we're looking at a time where you may be having great opportunities to sell, or someone's making an offer, or you're closing a contract, or something like that, you know, under contract, etc. So for those of you Cancers who are thinking of buying and selling real estate, things around your home are definitely having a lot of energy here. Certainly with Mars in the heart of the sun, and that sort of says over the next 2 years you're likely to move. This is Mercury giving you a heads up about some opportunity or some news about your home. Now, it doesn't have to be selling it right up. It could be like you were wondering if you could sell it, and then you wonder if you need to fix something, and you find out the news how you should do it. But there's things going on for you Cancers about your home, land, real estate part of the chart. Leo, sun, moon, and rising sign, the energy of this Mercury in the heart of the sun on the October 9th rebirth happening around 16 degrees or so of Libra. Well, this is going to be for you guys the vibration of having some sort of change of direction and some news coming, especially in the 18th of October when he goes direct, around siblings, aunts, uncles, and cousins, trips and travel. Learning and education that's skills-based, like, you know, a course or workshop or something to learn how to do something. And the online world is here too, social media platforms or websites. So first of all, Mercury retrograde here, some of you Leos are going back over old ground in sibling relationships and, you know, delays in your travel, and maybe you're looking even at, you know, website development, but it's having to be redone, etc. But when Mercury goes direct, you're going to find that on the 18th that some new positive messages in the news and information is coming to you around the themes that I just outlined. Certainly also when it comes to travel, Mercury going direct would allow you to travel after the 18th of October, but because he was in the heart of the sun first, he got some news or information that you need in order to plan this trip or take this trip properly. So his retrograde into the heart of the sun has purpose. It's not just to bug you. So also This is the house of oracles and diviners, the house of the goddess. It's not a bad time to see a psychic, astrologer, a seer of some kind, especially when Mercury is getting into direct motion after 18. We get really good news. As he goes into the heart of the sun, though, you might even get better news from a psychic, seer, or diviner. So don't wait till he goes direct. Mercury retrograde is magician and synchronicity oriented. I just had a dream about him the other night. I said, hey, you're Loki, right? So I was dreaming about Mercury. He was personified as a character. So the trickster vibe. So yeah. So anything else I want to say about the third house? No, that's it. This is fast. Virgo, sun, moon, and rising. Well, first of all, Virgo, Mercury is the lord of your ascendant. So especially for the Virgo risings, this is important when he goes into the heart of the sun and when he does retrogrades, you need to definitely pay attention. So he's going to go retrograde. He is retrograding already since the 27th of September, goes into the heart of the sun on October the 9th in the part of the chart that represents, of all things, your finances. And this is going to give you a great opportunity around your money. It's going to be in the house of earnings, employment monies, money, possessions that you have, resources and things you accumulate, your voice, your vocation as well. Certainly, I'm going to say that around the 9th, when he's in the heart of the sun, something is happening. Some information is being sort of supplied to Mercury from the sun, the king, the divine intelligence, that will then inform you of a new direction around your money and earnings, especially when he goes direct October 18th. So it could be very practically, you apply for a job and you get it and you hear about it after the 18th of October. You make a change in the way you make money and, it gets momentum after the 18th of October, that kind of thing. You also could find that your something, you have possessions, and Mercury is the lord of marketing and merchandising. You might sell something you own. Some of you Virgos may sell a piece of land or real estate. For instance, the fourth house, you might have a home to sell. Some of you Virgos may be a bit in the middle of buying and selling something to do with possessions. So everything from a piece of furniture that you don't want to a home or a piece of real estate, buying and selling Mercury possessions. Anything else for you Virgo risings? You might, with Mercury coming into visibility, change the food styles. It's what you put in your mouth, what comes into your food and drink into your mouth. So some of you guys may change that. And this also represents the part of the body that's your face. So you may have some positive directions about your face, some improvements in your face. There's information about how to improve your face about the 18th of October on when he's direct and visible, well, direct. And anything else I'd say about that? Yeah, and changing your food style. Mercury could give you news or information about how you eat, and you'll learn that that maybe there's something you need to change in your food and ingestions of substances in your life. Sun rising sign. Mercury is going to the heart of the sun in Libra. This is your body, right? This is you. This is your identity. This is important. He's rebirthing in your zone, Libra ascendant especially, but it applies to sun and moon. So certainly if your sun, moon, or ascendant is around 16 degrees of Libra, you're really feeling this. This is definitely very important news that is going to, in fact, impact you pretty strongly, because it's about your identity and, how you see you and the world sees you, right? Like in roles. So roles we play. I'm a boss. I'm a employee, I'm a mother, I'm a husband, I'm a wife. Something like fundamental identity structures can be influenced by this particular cazimi in your first house. Now, Mercury will be, direct on the 18th of October, where you'll be able to see the tangible results of this kind of reformation and new information coming to you about your identity in some fundamental way. And certainly it's going to come to you in a way that informs who you think you are. So it doesn't necessarily, it's a very you process here. Okay. It's all about you. You could have an insight, because Mercury is a messenger of the gods, and you could have it delivered by a dream at night, or just an inner knowing, or through something a friend says, a synchronistic event, where Mercury will give you a message about what you're supposed to become or be in the world, and how that might show up more easily for you after the 18th of October, when he goes direct and allows some of the new developments to show up for you about the messages about who you really are. All right. Scorpio, sun, moon, and rising sign. You guys are getting this rebirth Kazemi in a very deep, mystical, magical 12th house. It's not about the things in life that you can touch and see unless you do international commerce with PayPal and Stripe. Then it could be going back over old ground to get new momentum October 18th and that kind of money making, foreign shore monies. But on the other hand, offshore monies. But on the other hand, this is your dreams at night, and Mercury is really good at giving us messages in our dreams at night. So Scorpio, pay attention to your nocturnal dreams for messages from the Mercury in the heart of the sun around the 9th of October. Pay attention to meditations, daydreams, reveries. Pay attention to those vibes. This is the house of hospitals. Somebody you know might need some attention. You might get a message, some news that someone's in the hospital, and you might go have to visit them October 9th or ish into October 18th. This is also the house of your own self-undoing. How do you do things like addictions and behaviors that undo you? And Mercury will get some news from the sun, some advice from the king about how to not sabotage yourself. And by October 18th, you'll feel you've got this self-defeat thing under wraps. If you have any hidden enemies, after October 18th, those people will be less able to influence you and cause trouble in your life. Mercury will take care of that for you. Sagittarius, sun, moon, and rising sign. I'm getting hungry. It's almost dinner time. So excuse me if I'm going faster and faster. I need to make food. So Sagittarius is Mercury is going to be born again in the heart of the sun in your 11th house of good spirit, a lucky house full of all kinds of yummy stuff. Great financial gains can be had here, windfalls, pennies from heaven, friends and allies who wish to help you. Given that Mercury's a messenger, good news coming from friends and allies, good news coming on the financial front, good news coming on the in terms of your ability to achieve your hopes, dreams, wishes. Some of you guys might feel like you hit a jackpot here because it definitely could be a money thing. Mercury's a commerce god. This is a money house. You could find that you've got some huge financial positive development showing up, especially after the 18th of October when Mercury is going to go direct, actually the same day as Jupiter does as well. Now, you might find as well that you are able to really, like, you could hear from a friend, okay, who's also an ally for you. That news is most likely to show up around October 18th when Mercury is direct. And that outreach from a friend could turn a corner for you in your ability to really aspire or reach or attain your deepest hopes, goals, dreams, aspirations, and wishes for your life. All right. Oh my God, it's getting dark. Oh my God, I'm starting to lose the light. I'm speeding along. Capricorn, Aquarius, and we're done. Capricorn, sun, moon, rising sign, yeah, a rebirth, yay, and a new direction, good news coming in your career. So you Caps have been probably feeling a little bit like beleaguered with Pluto having spent a lot of time in your main sign of your identity since 2008, and you have a couple more years left, but you're at the finish line. And you know, this has always been squaring your 10th house of career. You probably, a lot of you Capricorns, have felt like you've never really been in the right place with your career or your identity over the last since 2008. Now, Mercury in the heart of the sun is going to, at the 16th degree of your 10th house, if you have planets in 10 degrees or so, sorry, 16th degrees of Libra, then this is probably more important. In your 10th house, like your midheaven could be up there. That would be really important. If your midheaven is anywhere near the 16th degree of Libra, then for a lot of you Capricorns, this is extremely pivotal. But it's going to definitely help you in terms of your career, because the sun can be the authority above you, like the grand boss, the CEO, the manager above you. Mercury's getting news from him and then coming out on October 18th with something good for you, some goodies. So news from a boss or a superior in the workplace about a promotion and your direction in your work, a gain, an elevation of status, but it's just some good news or some new news coming in the career part of the chart, especially after the 18th of October. And your reputation can change as well. Like, you know, if you're married, you could get divorced. And, you know, but you won't get divorced, but you may be having announcements, Mercury, to the world that I'm separating or divorcing from someone I'm with, or we're getting married, or we're getting engaged, or those kinds of announcements can happen as well. So good or bad, it doesn't matter. Mercury's just giving the announcements from the heart of the sun, where he's going true. You know, Mars is up there too. Mars cuts and severs. Some of you might be ending your work or leaving your work, or leaving your partner, changing your status that way as well. Or your partner leaves you. last but not least, we Aquarian risings and also Aquarian sun, moon as well. So the rebirth of Mercury in the heart of the sun is in our ninth house of foreign shores and lands. It's also in the place of book publishing, dharma, truth and wisdom, knowledge, the house of God, spirituality and religion. So much going on in the ninth house. I think for a lot of Aquariuses, you know, this is going to be a deeper connection to our true calling, our dharma, our purpose, the meaning of our life, as Mercury goes into the heart of the sun, soul, God, truth, wisdom, intelligence, and gets some good information for us. And that by October 18th, we're feeling clarity. Now, this is higher education. And if you're Aquarian wanting to go to college or university or in the midst of applying for school and stuff, this is good news and forward momentum in that part of the chart after the 18th of October. But, you know, the development of the energy of this is happening around the 9th of October. Trips and travel. I wanted to go to Portugal, but I'm not double vaxxed, and Canada's laying down the law on vaccines right now. For some people, this could end up being a situation where trips that have been delayed and sloggy, you get new momentum October 18th, new directionality about taking a journey to a foreign shore. So keep that in mind, okay? So it could be just a travel story for you. And that meaning that on October 18th, you get the momentum for that trip. You get the forward directionality. You know, you can book the tickets, or you know for sure you can take the trip, or you find the location you want to stay. Or some of you actually get on that plane and take that trip. Alrighty. Whoa, I gotta get some food. That was the Mercury lowdown as he goes Cazimi in the heart of the sun, which he does, I believe, about 6 times a year. Okay, guys, thanks for listening. I tried to get playful this time with the Mercury Cazimi story. Check the description box below. Divine Timing Masterclass. I'm teaching it for the second time around. I'm only gonna take 20 people. I haven't really been promoting it yet, mentioning it here and there. Starts October the 17th. If I don't get at least 10, I'm not gonna do the class, but I'm pretty sure I should. I had about 45 people take it last time. It was too big a class. A lot of people didn't know enough astrology. You want to know your basics. You want to have the very fundamentals down before you take the Divine Timing Masterclass. The first class is a basic overview of what you need to know, but I can't cram a lifetime of astrology into one class. It is meant for you to be able to use divine timing in your life. Even if you only have a cursory astrology knowledge, I try to keep it simple. All right. So that class is coming up and it's a 4-week live class with me. You get the replays. It happens every Saturday. Every Sunday, you can get the replays no matter what. Go check out the link below. You might want to sign up. And I would love to have a nice intimate class where I can take all of your questions and really make sure no one gets lost in the learning. All right, guys, thanks a lot. Ciao, ciao.